gonna try this again. Welcome to Positivity Time Live. Oh. Yes. View. Oh, shoot. Yes. Something might be happening. Yay! I see you. Oh, this is great.
Oh, it's amazing.
Oh my God.
Hey, thank you for your patience.
No, thank you for your patience.
No, it's all good. Thank you for everyone's patience who's watching this.
I can't believe, I mean, oh my goodness. Well, that's what we get for relying on applications, right?
Yeah, technology is a funny thing, but thank you everyone who's joining us. I've been looking forward to this, so thank you for your patience and your persistence. And yeah.
Exactly. A lot of that, which is all the things that we definitely need when growing our brain and memory anyway, right?
Yeah, I think through challenge comes change. Through you know, every time there's a quote in my book, Limitless, that says life is the C between B and D. Life is B between B and D. B is birth, D is death, C is choice, and we always have a choice. Whether something is positive or negative, and finding the gift in things. And our attitude is determines our altitude. But it's so good to be here.
Yes, I know. It's so good to have you on here. I have been literally listening to your podcast since it started in 2017.
Wow.
I'm so happy that you came out with this book, Limitless. Everybody, Jim Kwik, New York Times bestseller, Limitless. It's honestly, it is my new brain guide.
Thank you.
I'm so excited about it. It's highlighted all over the place.
Yeah. Where's everybody joining us from? Just in the comments, I'm curious.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you're going to be really excited to see that Brazil, they're going to be all over. I love the way that Instagram, India is able to bring people all over the world. Spain, Belgium. I mean, oh, good, nice book. Geneva. Isn't that amazing how we can just cultivate on a phone all these people coming together?
Yeah, I love it that we can be physically distant, but we're not mentally distant. We're not socially distant. We're not being emotionally distant. So it's amazing.
Yeah, and it's especially with with everything that is going on right now with the pandemic. I mean, if we didn't have all this technology that allowed us to actually feel a little closer, then it might have been even that much more tough.
Yeah, it's hard to be positive sometimes when we're cocooning and we're alone with our thoughts, our fears, our doubts, and you might be even feeling alone. But there's definitely a silver lining. So technology is amazing, and I know today we're talking about the technology that's my favorite part, which is the brain.
Yes, actually, it's a supercomputer that no one has been able to duplicate yet.
Yeah, it's definitely a special thing, and so I think more people update their phones. We update our apps more than we upgrade the most important device, which is our mind. And so, yeah, I look forward to this. We can do a little masterclass today.
Yes, exactly. Well, welcome to Positivity Time. This has been something that I started last year, actually exactly a year ago tomorrow.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. And I just felt like, people needed more positivity in their life. They needed to learn how to self-love. And that's what I'm trying to, do and have everyone check in every weekday so that people can learn a little bit more on how to self-love. And I thought, what better way to love yourself and be so impressed and self-reliant than to upgrade your brain and your memory and really learn how to access everything that it's capable of. And so, Jim Kwik, you were the only person I thought I should bring on here.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I think self-care is not selfish, and part of self-love is falling in love with the person in the mirror who's been through so much, but is still standing. So I want to congratulate everybody. I think we're all on this path to realize and reveal our fullest potential. So it's great to be on the journey with everybody from all around the world here talking.
I know it's absolutely mind-boggling every day that I just see people. I have people who literally wake up that, as I'm sure you do in all of your like Facebook groups and things like that in your lives. It's like I have people who are so dedicated and they wake up in Japan and it's like the first thing that they do in the morning. I mean, the just the dedication to their own self and their own self-growth is just always so inspiring.
Yeah, and I think that's what it takes nowadays. We have to take control over our you know, our attitude. We have to take control over, you know, what we focus on, especially in these challenging times. You know, I believe that these difficult times, they can define us, or these difficult times can diminish us, or these difficult times, they can develop us. We decide. And so I love the positivity. Positivity is great for your brain. And for those of you who are like ultra negative, you could actually train your brain to be more positive. And when you're more positive, you know, pessimists are actually, they're correct more often, but optimists actually succeed more, because it's interesting, because the pessimists, you
It's
know,
like long term for short term.
yeah, they don't, pessimists maybe they don't take a lot of risks because they want to play it safe. They're concerned of, you know, challenges. And if there's, you know, not taking risks nowadays could be risky, you know, and I don't believe, you know, failure is the opposite of success. Failure is the part of success, right? And if failure is not an option, then neither is success. So we have to maintain that positive outlook on life. So yeah, and right now where, you know, viruses or fear is contagious, so is positivity, so is performance,
Mhm.
and it all starts with our mind.
Yeah, you definitely get that in your book, Limitless, understanding that basically, like everything, it's really your foundation. And I was so excited to see that you do. I had Emily Fletcher on last week.
Oh, she's great.
Yes, so we're doing the Ziva meditation courses, and she's going to come on next week to check up on our 15-day course that we're in the middle of. So you are definitely, I see, an advocate because I actually got her from your book. So
Very cool.
I was able I was able to see that in your, you know, your manual to our brain, if you will, you talk about how gratitude and memory and the health of it all is all connected. Could you
Yeah.
explain more about that?
Yeah, gratitude is, it rewires your brain for greater prosperity. Right? Gratitude will rewire your brain for more peace of mind. Who doesn't want that? Gratitude could actually rewire your brain for more positivity. And some people will say like, well, I don't have something to be grateful for, but I would say that you don't have to wait for a greater life to feel grateful. Feel grateful and you'll have a greater life. And so I think gratitude, when you train yourself to think that there's enough, and gratitude is the antidote for what's going on a lot in the world with all the fear and the stress. You know, what you appreciate appreciates. So if you think about, you know, what if, here's a thought experiment for everybody here. What if the only things you had in your life tomorrow were the things you express gratitude for today? You know, like what if you want to feel wealthy right now, take out a piece of paper and just make a list of all the things you have in your life that money can't buy. And I feel like that we have a lot to be grateful for. And so gratitude, I feel, is so important, especially first thing in the morning and late at night. Gratitude is a wonderful exercise to go through to be able to help you sleep better. Who doesn't want to get a deeper night's sleep
Right.
and get into that place where you could just, you know, count your blessings? And I feel like if you do that, you'll have more to be grateful for. But yeah, so I appreciate all the positivity here.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, so I mean, I asked a lot of my fans, well, all of them. I asked if they would, you know, what would they want to learn from you more about, and I'm glad to see that them coming on here and we express gratitude every day. We come on and we're like, okay, what are we grateful for? And the thing of having everybody contribute and seeing how much gratitude is around the world, it's contagious, right? It really. I have had people become so much more positive and be so gracious about telling me how their life has changed just because they see more people coming together. So it's just something that has fed my soul more than anything. And I wanted to know, you know, what they were mostly interested in finding out about you. And a lot of it is like just like memory and because they want to be able to go back even to their best memories as a kid or things like that. They want to like relive that, the good old days almost too. So do you have any like memory exercises or things where we can really dive deep into tapping into what our brain holds up there, our hard drive?
Yeah, we've discovered more about our brains in the past 10 years than the previous 1,000 years combined. And we find is we're grossly underestimating our own capability. That when it comes to our memory, there's no such thing as a good or bad memory. There's a trained memory and an untrained memory. And our memory is like a muscle, and it's like use it or lose it. And so
Yeah.
that's one of the challenges is we're not using our memory as much as, training it as much as we have. Sorry.
So would you say there is capacity to our memory or no?
There is no upward capacity. It's amazing. Like, when we're talking about becoming limitless, limitless is not about being perfect. Limitless is about advancing and progressing beyond what we believe is possible. And, so when I go in front of an audience, often I'll memorize like 100 people's names, in an audience, or an audience will give me 100 words and I'll recall them forwards and backwards. But I always tell people I don't do this to impress you. I really just express to you what's possible, because the truth is everyone can do this. And I know this because I grew up with learning challenges. I had to, I had a brain injury when I was a child, and I had poor focus, poor memory, and I had 3 traumatic brain injuries as a kid. So I know it's absolutely possible for all of us to improve. And when we do, life gets a lot easier. And so I think memory is a magnifier, not just memorizing facts, figures, foreign languages, formulas, but also remembering your life, remembering your loved ones, remembering the lessons that we have, that we've learned along the way. So.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the more you can really exercise, I mean, just like you're saying, just like anything, if you want bigger calves, you're going to have to like exercise those calves. And the more you do it, and the more often you do it, and the more you do it, the easier it is. Like you're saying, like I'm sure when you first memorized your first 100 words in public, I mean, how was that?
Yeah. So the thing is when people be really surprised what they could do. It's just we weren't taught. School taught us what to learn, what to remember, but not how to learn. There were no classes on how to remember. I always thought it should have been the 4th R in school: reading, writing, arithmetic. But what about retention or recall or remembering? And so 2 of the most costly words sometimes in life are I forgot. I forgot to do it. I forgot to bring it. I forgot. I mean, how many people here came here by show of hearts? How many people came here today like to have a better memory, right? We all want to, right? How many people forgot why you came here today? You ever do that? You ever walk into a room of your own home and just forgot why you're there? You ever read a page in a book, got to the end and just forgot what you just read? Or you misplace things like your wallet or your purse or your cell phone, or if not yourself, your car. You forget where you parked your car. And so, or you forget someone's name, right? They give you their name and then the name disappears out of your mind and you wonder where it went. And so these are things that are absolutely fixable. And so, I've dedicated my life to showing people how to build their brain. And I think, just as you mentioned, there's physical fitness, right? People want to be stronger and have more energy. They're more agile, more flexible. Well, I want your brain. I wanted your brain to be stronger, your memory to be sharper, your focus to be more energized. So
how do we do this?
Yeah.
Let's give the viewers right now who did come on that wanted to like exercise their brain and get a better memory. What are some things that they can walk away with today that will allow them to maybe something that they can keep on doing, but what can we start them off with?
Yeah. So people could take some mental notes on this, but number one, a good brain
Always take notes, guys, by the way. Look, I have my pen.
Yeah. Grab some paper.
I'm always in note mode.
Yeah, there's a learning curve, but there's also a forgetting curve. So some people will hear something and they'll forget it the next day. So good brain diet. Let's start there.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, you are what you eat, and what you eat matters, especially if you're a gray matter. And so I would say is there's certain foods that are really great for your brain. And so there's a whole area of science called Neuro Nutrition. So avocados are good for the brain. Blueberries, I like to call them brain berries. Broccoli, parents are right. Broccoli is good for your brain. Olive oil is good for your brain. Yeah, if your diet allows eggs, the choline in eggs is good. Green leafy vegetables like kale, spinach. your brain is mostly fat, so the good fats like sardines, salmon, good for the brain. Fun one,
You're
turmeric.
describing my entire grocery list, by the way.
That's amazing. And then I can even show people how to remember this list. Have you ever gone to the list, like the store to buy one thing, and you come back with like 2 bags full of things?
Or with and without it, and you forgot the one thing.
Except for that one thing that you went to the store.
I did that the other day with celery.
Yeah, exactly. And so why does that happen, right? So turmeric is good for the brain. In the morning, sometimes I'll mix some turmeric with some almond milk, and it'd be great. And walnuts and almonds are good for the brain. Here's a fun one: dark chocolate, good for the brain. What's good for your mood generally is good for your mind. And so those are some brain foods.
Nice.
Number 2, good for your brain, killing ants. ANT stands for automatic negative thoughts. I got that from a friend, Dr. Daniel Amen, who's a brain doctor. And you know what we know is that your brain is like a supercomputer, and your self-talk is a programmable run. So if you tell yourself, I'm not good at remembering people's names, you won't remember the name of the next person you meet. You program your supercomputer not to. And so we need to keep it positive. Right? You know, if your mind is always eavesdropping on your self-talk, if everybody here truly knew how powerful their mind was, they probably wouldn't say or think something they didn't want to be true. And so that's why positive thinking is so important, because people come to me all the time and they'll say, oh, I have a horrible memory. I'm just too old. I'm not smart enough. And I'll say, stop. If you fight for limitations, you get to keep them. Right, so many people argue for what they can't do, and so you want to keep it positive for sure. So that's and people can rate themselves on a scale of 0 to 10. How's your diet? On a scale of 0 to 10, how positive are your thoughts? Right, I mean, if you want to have positive time, a negative mind can never yield a positive life. It just can't.
So if you have, so let's say like all of a sudden I have a negative thought. What's one thing that I can do to immediately stop that thought?
Yeah. Well, first thing is just kind to ourselves, knowing that we're only human. I mean, if you have one negative thought, it's not that it would ruin your life any more than eating that one donut will ruin your life, but it's the consistency of it, right? Mm-hmm. And so what I would say is self-awareness is a superpower. It's where you can catch yourself and say, oh, I'm being, it's not the most positive, encouraging thing. If you say something like, I don't have a great memory, maybe you could change it up and put a little word like yet at the end. I don't have a great memory yet. Right? Because the words we use really affect things. So if people say, oh, I gotta work out today, I gotta pick up my kids, I gotta study today. Maybe if you change the word got to get, right? I get to work out today,
Yeah.
I get to study and learn new things today. It just changes everything. So the words that
little things.
I think the little things add up to big things. Little by little, a little becomes a lot. And so, it's proof, but it doesn't matter if, and acknowledge your success. Somebody said they worked out today. That's amazing, right? You like that's Limitless is not about being perfect. Limitless is about advancing and progressing beyond what you believe is possible. And I think if we just show up that there's a version of ourselves we haven't met yet. And I think our goal is just to show up every single day until we're introduced to that person. So part of it has to do with our thoughts, and we choose our thoughts, right? And the good thing is just not to believe everything we think, right? You don't have to believe every single thought that comes across your mind.
Right. Yeah. I mean, one thing, I love the fact that you said if you have something that you say that's not the most positive, if you put yet at the end, that completely changes like the whole context of the sentence. I think that is definitely a little thing that we can do. Also, I mean, we were talking in the beginning, gratitude. So if you're thankful for, like you're saying, I gotta pick up my kids today. It's like, if you find the gratitude to having your kids, then it easily, you start to change the narration of it all, and you start to say things like, oh, I'm going to go and pick up my kids, or I get to go pick up my kids. Like, the more that you train yourself to have this gratitude to different things in your life, your narration already changes. It's not something where you have to be like, no, don't say that to yourself. It's like, that's one thing that I've found in doing a gratitude journal every day, and also just starting this Positivity Time Live, like having people come on and like share what they're grateful for. And I loved how more and more people are grateful for their health. We didn't think about our health. We just took it for granted. And now that we have this pandemic happening, it's like
Yeah.
people are more like, oh wow, I'm healthy today. You know, I'm so grateful for that.
Yeah, I think we all need to prioritize self-care because it's there's a saying that says that that a healthy person has 1,000 dreams, but an unhealthy person, they have one dream, which is to be healthy again, right? And so health, I believe today that health is the new wealth, that
Mm-hmm.
connection is new currency, that that kindness is the new cool, and it always has been. And so just to kind of bring that back, but we always have choice, especially who we surround ourselves. That's why this is wonderful, because we all need people to share positive news, because it can really get dark sometimes, and you don't want to dim your light just because it's shining in somebody else's eyes. I think now is a time to really shine the brightest we can and inspire other people to do the same.
Yeah, I'm trying to I feel like within your like lifetime now, this is a total lifetime achievement and continued lifetime achievement of like helping people with their memory and their brains and things like that. You're constantly studying and learning from other people so that you can, broaden your information tank.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, with all of this information that you've gotten and accumulated, what are some of your top takeaways that have allowed even more advancement in your memory?
Yeah. Well, besides the good food, the good brain diet, and the opposite would be processed food, high sugar foods, horrible for the brain. Besides
Absolutely.
positive self-talk, exercise, and I don't just mean working out, doing Pilates or CrossFit 3 times a week. I mean moving throughout the day. They say sitting is the new smoking. We're behind screens all day sometimes as creators, or, we're always there, and it's so important to move. And as your body moves, your brain grooves, and it's so important for your memory. When you move and exercise, you create brain-derived neurotrophic factors, which is it's like fertilizer for your brain. And so they say when you listen to an audiobook or you listen to a podcast and you're going for a brisk walk or you're on an elliptical, you'll actually learn it better. And so how can you move your body? And I think that every hour we should be getting up and just moving. And meaning that there's something called the Pomodoro technique that says that after about 25-30 minutes, your focus declines. And so it's nice to take every 30 minutes to take a 5-minute brain break to hydrate. Just staying hydrated will boost your reaction speed, your thinking speed, up to 30%. Just staying hydrated. Breathing. A lot of times people are tired because they aren't breathing. They have this very shallow breath. Or even when they're reading something, they're collapse their posture, and the lower 1/3 of your lungs absorbs 2/3 of the oxygen. You wonder why they're tired.
When I learned that out of your book, and y'all, please go get Limitless. It's seriously going to be something that I just pick up all the time, just to be like, wait, what was that? What was that thing I should do? Or what was that third step or whatever it was? But that was one thing. People are always like, how do I read faster? How do I retain what I'm reading? And I mean, I've gotten all those answers from your book, but the one thing that really surprised me, and that actually now I think about it all the time, is not only engagement, like being excited about what you're reading and having it really stimulate you, but was the posture. Because when I was reading, I was like kind of hunched over, and I was like, oh my God, my like my oxygen is getting cut off. And so I was like, no, okay, I'm going to fix my posture. And it also allowed me to feel more awake. And that to me was one of the things I was like so surprised about.
It's so amazing because those little things make the biggest difference. When people see the difference between what success and not success is, it's always a bunch of the basics, the fundamentals, and just I would remind everybody that, and I appreciate all the compliments, in the comments here.
I love all these comments.
Yeah, because I think we're all, like, people ask all the time, how do you become limitless in a limited world? And my answer is, we do it together, right? That, there's this African proverb that says, if you want to go faster, go alone, but if you want to go further, go together. And it's kind of cheesy, but team, T-E-A-M is together, everyone achieves more. You know, it gives
Mm.
these miracles, and we can do it together as long as we have each other's backs, we have each other's brains. And so movement is so key. And so I would encourage people to every 30 minutes, just kind of get up and move, you know, or place your laptop if you're on the thing, just kind of, you know, be able to stand for a little bit, you know, all those.
Yeah, do you have a thing with these standing desks? Are you much more
Yeah.
excited about those?
Yeah, I have a standing desk, and then we have a treadmill the desk also. It's just, you know, it's one of those things that, you know, it's an investment, but you can even
Yeah.
stack boxes up, and just so you could, like, I'm standing right now, but it just because I've been doing a little bit of sitting, but we can always figure out a ways if we're creative. There's always a way. And so exercise. Another thing is really good is positive peer group. You know,
Mm.
who you spend time with is who you become. And I would just remind everyone here that we all need somebody to encourage us. We all need somebody, you know, people around our life that are positive. We all need people to challenge us, to educate us, to cheerlead for us. And if you haven't found that person, I would remind you to be that person for somebody else. Especially be that person for yourself. Because, you know, kindness towards yourself, self-compassion, now more than ever. People sometimes will beat themselves up because they don't work out that day, or they ate a horrible meal. And it doesn't, the science shows that you're less likely to follow through if you beat yourself up. But actually, if you're kind to yourself and say, hey, you know, I had a really long day, I'm human, and you forgive yourself, you're more likely to follow through on those good things. So keep it going. So positive peer group. We tend to, I would have everyone think about the word watch, W-A-T-C-H. We imitate the people that we spend the most time with. So if they say we're the average of the 5 people we spend the most time with. If you spend time with 9 broke people, be careful, because you're going to be number 10. And the reason why is we're always imitating W-A-T-C-H. The W stands for words. We imitate their words. The A stands for actions. You always want to watch your actions. The T is your thoughts. Right? We talked about that. Thoughts are things. There's a biology to belief, right? And you know, every single time we have a new thought, we wire our brains in different ways. And then the C and the H in watch, C stands for character. And then finally the H are your habits. I believe first you create your habits, then those habits create you. So you start, you know, if everyone's doing this habit of meditation each day, right? You create those habits, and those habits create you back. You create the habits of getting good night's sleep, eating the best food, reading every single day, right? And those habits create you back. And Stanford University came up with a study saying 40% of our daily behaviors are habitual. We're not even thinking about it. But the challenge is, where do those habits come from? And are they the best habits for us? And so,
And they all started somewhere.
exactly, yeah.
All these habits started as something small. So if you also think about that, it's like, then all you have to do is kind of start with something small. I know you were saying about like ants, like negative thoughts, which that was one thing that I mean, I feel like we're always going to be working on that, but that was something that I really focused on. And every time I had a negative thought, I learned more about it. First, I did the research about it, and it was like every 17 seconds you have a thought. So it's like after that 17 seconds, if you don't say no to that negative thought or change the narration of it, then it just, you know, compounds to another negative thought that stems from that, and then it just becomes this like web of negativity. And that was just like stopping as soon as you catch it, just saying something then positive. I read something where it's like, if you have a negative thought, then and you catch that, maybe say 3 positive things right then about your day, or just like what's going on.
Yeah, if you want a more positive time, you know, or positive life, I would remind people that a negative mind can never create a positive life. And so it's really pretty simple, right? It's, you drown out the negativity by adding the good stuff. You eat the good food, you spend time around good people, you know, you read, you listen to, you know, positive things, and you'll have a positive life. It's that simple, but it's also that hard too. You know, it's hard sometimes when we have energy vampires, you know, in our environment that, you know,
Yes.
some people are batteries included, some people are batteries are not included. And they like steal all your energy away and feel depleted.
Yeah.
And so we can always determine, like, you know, I think that's why these things are so important, where we connect with people who are on the same path, that, you know, are optimistic, that are kind. Those are all superpowers.
Oh, yeah. And we all want to be a superhero, right? I mean, we spend so much time and energy watching these superhero movies. It's like, and I always said, I was always saying, God, I want to be a superhero one day. And it's really, I love your book and how you have been a huge influence of making me kind of flip that perception and being like, you know what, I'm already a superhero, and I already can be a superhero because it's just all the little things and the story of the superhero, right? Like learning something and then being able to like give it back to the world and teach people. It's like that is the definition of a superhero. So
Yeah.
I feel like we all can be superheroes.
Yeah, I imagine everyone who's here, I mean, the hundreds of people who are watching around the world, that everybody has a cape on their back, and it's not leaping tall buildings and shooting lasers out of their eyes, but they're real mental superpowers, like leaping through tall stacks of books. How many of people here have ever bought a book and it sits on your shelf and it becomes shelf help, not self-help, right?
No one ever does that. What are you talking
Yeah.
about?
So, yeah, in our Instagram, in my profile, I have a link that takes people to a free speed reading masterclass. So people could take their favorite book and I'll walk them through and I'll show people how to improve their reading speed, focus, comprehension, 50% minimum, and it's completely free and you could just enjoy it there. But my thing is like, what if you could have laser focus, and because think about it, all animals have superpowers, right? Animals, they could climb, they could breathe underwater, they could fly. Some of them are bulletproof, some of them are really strong, some of them are really fast. Human beings aren't any of those things naturally, but we have the superpower, the greatest superpower, which is our mind. And because we have this mind, we can fly, right? We create a technology, we can go really fast, we can be able to breathe underwater, we can be super strong. But our mind is the most, if knowledge is power, learning is our superpower. And it's a superpower we all have. And a superhero has discovered and developed their superpowers. And I believe everybody here has a superpower. You have a strength, you have a trait, you have a talent, you have some kind of characteristic.
And we're all able to problem solve. That's something that like a lot of species can't really do. Like we can actually take perspectives. Like I can understand where you're coming from. I can kind of be in your shoes and that I feel is a superpower. So the more that you actually invest in understanding that empathy, which I think a lot of us need to do in this world, right? Especially right now. I mean, we've always needed to, but it's magnified now. And I feel that is a way that we can all become superheroes together.
And that makes sense because if just having a superpower, it might be coding, it might be parenting, it might be, but then using that, just having a superpower doesn't make you a superhero. You have to use that power for purpose.
For good.
Yeah.
For good, not evil.
Exactly. Otherwise, you're not. Yeah. So I would say that we all have this amazing superpower, and because of it, with great power comes great responsibility. As the Spider-Man saying goes. So I would say that we have to be responsible for that power and wield it to be able to do good things.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to say the one thing that everyone was probably thinking back when you said, have you ever bought a book and it becomes shelf help, not self-help? Yeah. Have you read every single one of those books behind you?
I read a lot. For 4 years, I read a book a day because I couldn't. It took me, when I was a kid, it took me 3 years longer just to learn how to read, because of my brain injury as a child. And it was really very, I felt like I wasn't enough. I felt like a teacher when I was 9 years old pointed to me in front of the whole class and said, "That's the boy with the broken brain." And that really shattered a lot of my beliefs in myself because it's, that self-talk, right? And I'm an avid reader now. I think that reading was never, my teachers would have been surprised if I read a book, much less wrote a book. And I feel like that if somebody has decades of experience in any subject and they put it into a book, and you guys could sit down and read that book in a few days, you could download decades into days. That's an incredible advantage. If somebody wrote a book on meditation right after years of research or entrepreneurship or parenting or romance or, getting six-pack abs or whatever, you have to put it in, you can read that book. That's an amazing advantage. And that's why I feel like leaders are readers. If people see on my Instagram pictures of me and Oprah and Bill Gates and Elon Musk and, Richard, these individuals, we bonded over reading because, the best of the best, they're always learning. And I think reading is to your mind what exercise is to your body. And I did this Insta story the other day with Will Smith did the cover quote for our book, and I did an Insta story, and I said, what are 2 things you do to keep just really sharp, to succeed every day? He was like, Jim, 2 things. I run and I read every single day. I have to do something physical and I have to do something mental every single day. So we always need to train ourselves, and that's an incredible gift.
So okay, so you say you've read so many books, you're displaying a ton of books behind you. I feel so bad that I have no books behind me, although my bookshelf is over here, I swear. Yeah. It definitely, I mean, I have your book over here. But what are your top, I'm gonna ask for your top 3 books.
Yeah, I mean, that's like fine, like, I don't know, if I have...
I know it's hard, but I'm sure there's been so many great ones in your life that...
I have,
Show.
Man's Search for Meaning is an amazing book for those who haven't read it. An incredible book. Mindset is an incredible book by Dr. Carol Dweck. That's just all about growth mindset versus fixed mindset. Some of the classics like Think and Grow Rich, you know, is
that's
Napoleon Hill.
That's on my show.
Psycho-Cybernetics, an incredible book. The Power of Positive Thinking. Norman Vincent Peale, The Magic of Thinking Big, incredible. These are just some of my favorite, mindset books, because I think everything starts with your mindset. You can learn a great strategy on how to remember names, but if your mindset is, I'm not smart enough, you're not going to remember that name, right? So that's why I think mindset is where I'm curious what everyone else's favorite books are also as well. They could put it in the chat. I would actually challenge everybody to take a screenshot of this and tag Nikki and tag myself and post it. And in that post, share your favorite book. And
please do.
Yeah, I'll actually repost, because that way when you tag us, we'll see it. I'll repost some of my favorites, and I'll actually gift a signed copy to one person, just as a thank you for just, being active in the process. Here's the thing, learning like life is not a spectator sport. Learning like life is not a spectator sport. And we can't the human brain doesn't learn through consumption. It actually learns best through creation and co-creation. It's not just your neurological networks, it's our social networks, collaboration, everything that we're doing right now.
Like you said, team.
Yes, so important, just that we could do it together. And so those are a handful of my favorite books. Yeah, I gave you like 6, but yeah, definitely.
Yes, I know you gave me a lot. I'm over here like, I'm just like so excited. Oh, I love that idea. Oh, Jim, you're so fantastic. Yes, everybody, please take a screenshot of this and post and tag us both, Miss Nikki Lee and Jim Kwik. Tag us both and say your favorite book. We would love to hear yours, because like we're saying right now, it really does take a whole team and a support system to achieve our greatest positivity, to achieve our greatest mindset, and to keep that up. So it really is not just him or me sitting here and talking. It's really all of you. And you guys, I'm sure, have so much you could teach us as well. And we are both avid learners, and I'm sure we would absolutely love to learn something new, because it's also about perspective. And you guys have such a different perspective than we do. And you guys will open up a totally different new light for us to look and achieve and understand even where you're coming from. And so please do repost, tagging us both, and we will repost. And Jim, you're so awesome. You're gonna choose a person to send out your book.
Yeah, I'll repost a bunch, and then we'll pick one random person and get them a signed copy of the book, just as a thank you, for doing that.
And it is the best book. I mean, I got to get through it all, thankfully, because I've also taken your reading course and listened to your podcast, which everyone, if you have 20 minutes, every episode is just about 20 minutes. And it's like, as he says, bite-sized brain hacks for busy people. I've listened to that thing so many times. It's like in my brain. So if you need to know different things, he's covered some of the things that we've covered here, but also there's just so much more to learn. And if you just want to stay positive and stay achieving and stay up on the new brain hacks, this is definitely the podcast to pay attention to.
Thank you. Yeah, everything has a link in my profile of Instagram. You have a link to some memory training videos where we take people right on stage and show you how to remember their names. I show you how to memorize the 10 brain foods that I talked about earlier today. So I actually teach you how to give a TED talk from memory. And then there's a great speed reading class. And there's on our podcast, there's no sponsors or anything. So you could just binge listen to it. It was one of the most binge listened to Spotify shows.
That's all I do.
Yeah.
Because they keep playing too. So
Yeah,
I'm like,
they really go. And some of the episodes are only 10 minutes. If you can learn how to remember names or read faster in 10 minutes, then I hope it'll give you an advantage at work and school. If you want to be an entrepreneur or whatever your endeavors are. I'm reading XX Brain by Dr. Lisa Mosconi. That's a great book. Yeah.
I just saw that quote, or I just saw that comment too.
We've had her on our show a number of times and talking about the female brain. We donated 100% of the proceeds of this book to charity. To build schools for kids around the world, from Ghana to Guatemala to Kenya. We donated a lot to Alzheimer's research for women specifically.
Alzheimer's research, wow.
Yeah, you know, women are twice as likely to experience Alzheimer's than men, and yet most of the treatments and the research has been done on male brains. So I lost my grandmother to Alzheimer's when I was 7. When I was going through my learning challenges. And if anybody knows somebody who has had brain aging challenges, dementia or something, you know, my heart goes out to you. Because, you know, when they lose their memories, it feels like they lose their humanity, almost like what binds them together. And so that's why memory, everybody here can be unforgettable. You really can. You eat the right foods, you have the good thoughts, you exercise each day, you surround yourself around positive people, you clean your environment, because the brain loves a clean environment. So your mind, you optimize your sleep, which is very important, because your memory and your focus and your brain is not really healthy if you know, not getting good sleep.
It all starts at home.
It does, and these are all, you know, the book is, you know, heavily endorsed by a lot of doctors. We know that 1/3 of your memory is predetermined by genetics and biology, but 2/3 is in your control. And so these are the things that really make the difference. And so sleep, prioritizing your sleep. Protecting your brain, you know, avoiding those extreme sports, wearing a helmet, new learnings, make sure you learn like every single day. You know, school, like learning doesn't stop when you graduate school. You know, the best of the best, they're always learning. And I would say schedule it. Schedule your learning. Schedule your reading for 10, 15 minutes a day, and it will transform your life. Again, there's a free speed reading class in the link in my profile on Instagram. And then finally, stress management. You know, what do you do to mitigate stress? Because chronic stress shrinks your brain. Chronic fear actually suppresses your immune system. It makes you more susceptible to colds, the flus, the viruses. And the antidote to those things like gratitude, things like contribution. You know, I think. And
movement.
What's that? Yeah. Yep, absolutely. And so when you know, doing Ziva meditation, incredible way of reducing stress. Because when you're in fight or flight, you're not going to study your best. You're not going to be the best for your kids. You're not going to be present for that investor meeting or doing those sales videos.
You're gonna be half in, half out.
Yeah, you'll be frozen or you'll be, you know, frightful. And so little things make the biggest difference. My whole thing with everybody here, you know, is don't overthink it. Thinking is good. Overthinking is not good. You know, overthinking and wanting it to be perfect, it just doesn't happen. It could cease progress. What I would say is like literally small, simple step. Maybe working out an hour a day is too big. Put on your running shoes. Right? And maybe reading, you know, 45 minutes a day is way too big if you're not doing that. Maybe you just open up the book. One small, simple step. Because inch by inch, it's a cinch. Yard by yard, it's way too hard. You know, and consistency compounds. Little by little, a little becomes a whole lot.
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially if you step back and just see each step grow. I mean, it's like even like a stock market chart, you know, like it was a slow grind, but if you wait over 5-10 years, you're like your stock growth is going to be up. So it's usually
I think people overestimate what they could do in a day, but they really underestimate what they could do in like 6 months to a year. And but this year is going to pass regardless, right? The only thing that's equal, not everybody has the same education or income or network, you know, but everybody has 24 hours in a day. You know, it's not even about time management, it's about priority management. Manage your priorities. And the most important thing is to keep the most important thing the most important thing. I can't stress that enough. The most important thing is to keep the most important things the most important things in your life, and really get good at those things.
Well, you say something about having a to-do list, but also a not to-do list.
Yeah, I think, there's a great book called Good to Great by Jim Collins, that you have to say
Mm.
no to what's good so you can say yes to the great things. And I would just remind everybody that when you say part of self-care is not just going to the spa, and doing those things, it's also part of self-care is realizing when you say yes to somebody or something, you're not saying no to yourself, right? That part of self-love is putting borders and boundaries around the things that you treasure, your time, your heart, your emotions, especially now. It's not just about physical hygiene. We all know the rules for that, but it's also mental hygiene. And, whatever you're engaging with, it's just like Instagram. There's an algorithm, right? Whatever you engage with, they show you more of. So if you
Right.
engage with all the cat posts, like, share, and watch all the cat videos, comment on all cat videos, they show you more cats. Well, your mind has that same algorithm. And if you're just watching everything that's dark and scary and threatening, which your mind gets sometimes hijacked, that part of your brain, the amygdala, the problem is you start seeing that everywhere and doesn't give you enough bandwidth to focus on possibility, on opportunity, on the things maybe you could feel grateful for at any given moment. And so train your brain, like ask yourself this simple question. Every time you do something, just ask yourself in the beginning, is this good for my brain or is this bad for my brain? Is this food or this thought or this person or this project or this activity, is it good for my brain or is it harmful for my brain? And those little things add up to very big things in your life, and sometimes we have to feed our brain, we have to feed our business before it feeds us back. For those of you who are entrepreneurs and you have a side hustle, in the beginning you're grossly, under rewarded, but then if you're consistent, you work hard, you're always learning, you don't give up, then there's a switch, right? And if you're willing, if you do the things other people won't, you'll get to enjoy a life other people can't. And I just have to really stress for those of you, or if you're going through the process, you know, like you remember that time in your life where you felt like you wouldn't survive? Like I'm just talking to everybody here. That time you thought you wouldn't survive. Well, if you're
Definitely
watching,
in high school. A
yeah,
lot of people felt that, I think.
absolutely. And then if you're watching this, you did survive if you're watching this, and you will again. That you are
Mhm.
stronger than anything that's in front of you. And it's not about resources as much as it is the resourcefulness you have inside. And everybody has the greatest superpower there is on the planet, which is the human mind. And if you want to improve your confidence, like overnight, your self-esteem, just study your brain. The reason why I wear like these brain shirts all the time is just it's not only does it make my getting dressed easy, but it's just so what we see we take care of, right? You see your hair, you see your skin, you see your clothing, you see your car. You take care of what we see because it's always
Mhm.
in front of you. But we don't see the thing that controls everything. So that's why I wear these brain shirts to remind you to love your brain, right? To
Yeah.
take care of your brain.
People don't think about it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's crazy.
Because it controls everything, right? There's Warren Buffett has this saying that when you turn 16, if you were given a car, and this was your car for free, but this is the only car you could have the rest of your life, how well would you treat and take care of that car? Well, we have a vehicle we go through, which is our body, which our brain is part of our body. And this is the one vehicle we have going through this lifetime. How well can you treat it? And, the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago, but the second best time is today, right? So no
Mhm.
matter your age in your life, start today. Do one little thing, whether it's a good brain diet, getting rid of negative, reducing negative thoughts, meditating, exercising 10 minutes a day, doing something physical, taking those omega-3, DHA, supplements that's good for your brain.
Mhm.
Getting rid of that one person, as we're going to start a new month soon, like make sure you unsubscribe and you cancel the other subscriptions to other people's negativity and their drama, right?
Yeah.
What's one thing you could do? Maybe reading 10 minutes a day, maybe setting an alarm not only to wake up, setting an alarm to go to sleep, so
Mm.
prioritize
That's a
your
big one.
maybe doing the Ziva, the challenge, meditating, each day. One little thing makes a difference. It's the
Mhm.
difference between, you think about the word extraordinary, the difference between extraordinary and ordinary, it's just a little extra, right? When you think
Mhm.
about,
No, cute.
boiling water, right? You think
Uh-huh.
about boiling water and at 211 degrees Celsius, it's just really hot water, very hot water, right? But one more degree, 212, that water becomes steam. And that steam,
Mhm.
that steam could power a train locomotive, right? That's the power of STEAM. One extra degree, you know, and so what area of your life can you just put a little one extra degree effort, and then you get all the rewards? If you think about the Olympics or the Indy, you know, 500, you know, or horse races, the difference between first and second and third, it's like a fraction of a second.
Yeah.
Just being a little bit better in your life. So maybe you could heat up just 1 degree more, you know, in your communication, in your studies, in your working out. You know, those little things add up to huge, and then that's how winning is done, right? That's how transformation happens.
Well, and starting, like we're saying, like the power of now, just starting is how winning is done. It's like, don't worry about the finish line. You have to start the race. Like,
Love that.
you have to start. So and a lot of people get so stuck, like I've read The Power of Now, and it's like, people get so stuck in like saying, oh, I should have worked out yesterday, or I should have done this, or what. It's always a should have, but it's like, don't even worry. Squash that ant. Like, don't even worry about that. Like, what about right now? Like, you should just live in the right now, and you become so much happier because you're not miserable about what you didn't do in the past, which you can't change anyway. Yeah. So it's like, just go ahead and start. It's like whatever you're wishing for or starting to wish that you did yesterday or earlier, it's like, why don't you just say yes and do it now? My therapist was like, I want you to do one thing for a week, and just whatever your first thought is, just do it. Yeah. And that was the most adventurous week of my life. Okay. Because all of a sudden I was like, this is a really weird example, but so true. I was like, I want to go to Costco. And I'm like,
that was your first thought?
I love Costco. Okay. And I would just like go, but then I would like find something that's really interesting, or, you know, or I picked up a ton of blueberries and broccoli and avocado. I mean, you have no idea. It's so funny. But it's like it's literally just like starting now and not worrying about what has or has not happened, and not worrying about doing it later. It's really just about, why don't you just say, okay, and just start something now. And even if it's okay for 10 minutes, you know, even if it's okay, just to, like you said, even if you just open the book and look at it. Because I've had plenty of times where I found a book where I was like, wow, I can't believe I haven't read that yet. I want to read that so bad. And I opened it just to like tease myself. And I literally like saw like a sentence that I was like, I don't even know how, but it just like locked in. And then next thing I know, it's like 5 minutes later, I've already just read something and I got so excited about the book. So I got started. Yeah. But it's just about like, you have no idea what your day could be like. Like, you see all these people doing like living my best life. It's like, well, are you? Like, if you're only living, and don't be envious of the person living their best life, because whatever you love or want to do, just start it. Tomorrow, there you go, Shelly. Shelly's like, tomorrow's not promised to us. And that's another thing. Like, as much as it's great to schedule things, which obviously that's the only thing that really also holds you accountable, which is very important. Yeah. But it's like just being able to kind of take yourself out of your comfort zone and try something out, because who knows, maybe you never thought that you could read a book at 3 p.m., you know, in the middle of your day. You never thought that that would be like a nice time to start maybe reading for 10 minutes. Like, you just never know unless you try something. So it's a big challenge for people, but it'd be pretty cool to see what people all of a sudden do in their day. Yeah. If they have like, you know, a little tickle to do something, they just say yes to it. I think that is always really fun.
I agree. I think that nothing changes when we say no, right? When we literally say no, there's zero change. And if you want things to change, you know, so many people don't want to change because, you know, it's different, or they're scared, they don't want to fail. And remember, if failure is not an option, then neither is success. And you can take small, simple steps. You know, people are so afraid of making mistakes, and I always tell people to make mistakes. When you do, make them old, O-L-D. And I like to use acronyms. I know, I love it. Yeah. The O stands for own it. When we make a mistake, own that mistake. Don't blame somebody else. Don't give up your power. You know, apologize if you hurt somebody. Fix it if you can, but take ownership and responsibility. The L in old, making an old mistake, is learn from it. I mean, that's what mistakes are, right? There is no failure. There's feedback, right? There's only failure.
Experience.
Exactly. And then finally, the D is, and once you own it and learn from it, the D is don't repeat it. Because if you repeat that mistake, like so many people will make the same mistake in hiring or and they'll date the same kind of person, or they'll eat that junk food the same time every single time, because they forget the lesson that was there. And sometimes I would say that if you make a mistake, that's great. You did it once, but if you do it again, then it's not a mistake. Then it becomes a choice, right? And I want people to own like those things. That
It is your fault.
exactly. Our life is the sum total of all the choices we made up to this point. And the great news is that we can make one new choice today, right now in this moment, to change everything. And one step in another direction completely changes your destination or your destiny.
Yeah. I love listening to you talk. I can't wait. Even once we like sign off, like all I'm going to do is turn on your podcast. So it's just, I have your voice in my head all the time. It's so funny.
Yeah,
But yeah,
and that's a choice that you make, right? Like, you know, if you have it on while you're cooking, or you do these little things add up to huge things. What we appreciate appreciates, and it grows. What you nourish flourishes, right? What we nourish flourishes. And so, you know, make the choices to nourish the things that really, you know, make the difference in your life, the things that light you up, especially what's going on right now. You're right. Like tomorrow's not promised. Right? Like right now is like, you know, say for anybody that you care about, you know, contact them, you know, let them know that you love them. You know, like right now we have one life, right? One life. Like, why aren't we running towards our dreams like we're on fire? Right.
yeah.
I spent a lot of time working with seniors because of losing my grandmother to Alzheimer's, and you know, you hear a lot of great stories and great wisdom, but you also hear a lot of regret. And the number one regret people have is that they somehow shrunk their life to fit into something that it wasn't them. You know, they didn't date somebody because of what they pursue a relationship because of what people would think about that, or they pursued a career because it was expected of them, of their family. And I would tell you that when you're taking your final breaths, you know, all of other people's opinions, their expectations, your fears, none of it's going to matter. What's
They're
going to
probably not
matter,
even going to be there to hear it.
exactly, and what's going to matter is how we lived. You know, simple, that when we're in that coffin, there's not a lot of room in there for possessions, and everyone can have the toys and all that stuff. That's awesome, but there's also not a lot of room in there for regret. You know, so right now, you know, light a fire, you know, under yourself, and do the things that really matter to you. You know, and make the things that are most important. Ask yourself during, you know, ask yourself a simple question: what's most important to me in my life? You know, like sometimes when you're going 100 miles an hour, you don't take a pause to say, am I going in the right direction? You know, you know, sometimes you're so busy, you can climb the ladder of success, get to the top, and realize the ladder is leaning on the wrong wall, right? You don't want that. Now's a great time to check in with yourself. And then, you know, maybe what's most important to you in a relationship, in your family, in your health, in your career, in your impact, right? And then once you have those answers, ask yourself the second question, which is, are my actions aligned with those values? Are the actions I'm taking aligned with the things that light me up? Because how many people here feel like they're burnt out? They feel sometimes exhausted. A lot of times you're not burnt out because you're doing too much. A lot of times we feel burnt out because we're doing too little of the things that light us up, that make us come alive, right? And I would remind you that, you know, that we, you know, when we're on autopilot and we're just doing things out of habit, or just unconscious, that some of those things aren't getting us to where we want to go, you know, and that time passes. So maybe this could be a good wake-up call for people, and just saying, what's one little thing I can do? Because success breeds success, and then you have momentum. And a lot of people have momentum, but it's not positive momentum. They have momentum sitting on the couch and binge watching something for 6 hours and eating Cheetos, right? That's still momentum and motivation. What I would say is maybe you could shift that energy into something that lights you up. And it's different for every single person, like for sure. And so I love the comments and the positivity and how people have each other like encouraging.
I love everybody on here. I'm so grateful I'm so grateful. It's like, it has changed my entire life. I mean, I came on here just trying to it started because I just wanted to read a page of this book that I was like, wow, people need to hear this. And that's how it all started.
Yeah.
And then everyone was like, this is great. I love this. Come on again. And I'm like, well, okay. So
we all need positivity time, right? We don't need time to like this, you know, like to connect with the good things, to balance out all the other stuff that's out there, you know? And so now everybody needs to shine bright, and so many do not, dim your light because it's shining in somebody's eyes. Now's the time to burn bright, you know, to inspire people with your example, to help fan other people's flames. And it's not a
Yeah.
competition. Don't, as you said, don't compare yourself, right? Comparison is the thief of, you know, joy, right? You know, I was
Comparison
saying,
is so bad.
not to-do list. Remember you said, you know, there's a to-do list. There's also a not to-do list. You know, on your not to-do list is don't compare, because you don't want to compare your life to the highlight trailer of everybody else's life online, right? Because
And you don't even know what they're going through. You don't know what they're going through.
yeah,
And also, whatever you see of somebody else that you really appreciate, well, then just make that choice to start doing little things that allow you to shine that bright. Because I'm
yeah,
sure another person's going to look at you and be like, "Oh, I love that. I want to do that too." And if we all just have inspiration from us all, we can all shine brighter, and then we can, like, I don't know, then we can throw up some solar panels, then we'll be fine with our energy, and we'll
yeah.
have green energy.
There you go. And so and I love that, because that way we don't have to minimize other people to feel better about ourselves. We can encourage them, right? Like, happy is the heart that finds joy in other people's success, right? It just is. And so, you know, and plus you train yourself to think, like, because if you are envious, then what you do is you end up sabotaging yourself, because you're unconsciously telling yourself, if I'm successful, other people are not going to like me also, right? So you want to encourage people. You know, now's definitely the time to do that. And so don't shrink. The biggest mistake I see people doing is, do not downgrade your dreams to meet this current situation. Upgrade your mindset, upgrade your discipline, upgrade your skills, your knowledge, your learning, to be able to meet those audacious, great dreams. The brain was designed, our mind was designed to think and act big. It really was. You know, when you think about positivity, you think about dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins. You know, we are this chemical soup of feelings, you know, and that's the thing, you know, do the things that really help you to unleash that, because there's no regrets and no limits, for sure.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Joe, I know that you have given us so much of your time, and I want to be respectful of yours. I know you said you had to go at a certain point, so I want to wrap this up for everybody. I mean, we obviously can talk forever, and we just have these, like, back and forth, which I love your banter. I want to take one moment selfishly and just say that I am a huge advocate for education, and that's one of, like, my biggest, most favorite things, and I want us to have the right education. You said something about having a foundation or donating to a foundation that builds schools, and I just want to put in your ear that I would love, beyond belief, love to, like, go visit one of these schools or get my hands dirty and help build. I really don't care. I know I look girly right now, but no, I will totally get down and dirty. So I would love, if you ever can, like, tell me how I can volunteer.
I'll send you information. I'm on the advisory board for something called Pencils of Promise, and it's amazing. Adam Braun, the founder, he went on like a trip, right out of college, and one of the kids that was on the street, he asked, like, what would you like for, you know, your birthday, as an example. And the little boy said, I want a pencil, out of anything that he could have. And a pencil represented for him opportunity, you know, advancement, and he called the organization Pencils of Promise. And so we just built another.
I just got the chills.
Yeah, so those trips are actually, they're definitely, we should do that. So yeah, I want to encourage everybody here, just as a thank you. I want to thank you for the positivity you give to the world. You know, the consistency you've done this, you know, over the past year, because I think right now we need more of this light than ever before. You know, right now is the time we have to make choices. We want to be too optimistic to scare, be too determined to be defeated. Right now is the time where it's like, you don't want to shrink what's possible to fit your mind. Expand your mind to fit all that's possible. And I always tell people this quote, that life is like an egg, that if an egg is broken by an outside force, life ends. But if an egg is broken by an inside force, life begins. Great things begin on the inside. And everybody here, if you're watching this, you're on this path with us. Like attracts like. It's not a coincidence. You have greatness inside of you. You have genius inside of you. No matter what the doubters and everything else, we're going through hard times right now. You're right. We never know like the battles people are facing. You could walk right past somebody and they could be facing the fight of their life. That's why kindness is such an important superpower now more than ever. And I would remind you that if you've gone through these difficult times, you're going through struggles, that you inspire people with your grit. You inspire people with your grace. And the life we live are the lessons we teach, you know, and so the life we live are lessons we teach. So, you know, just keep on keeping on. And I really wish everybody, I want to thank you for doing it. We should do this again sometime.
Please.
This would be fun. And I wish everybody, you know, when you lay your head on the pillow tonight, you know that you would rest well tonight, knowing you can face anything that comes to you tomorrow, that you're stronger than any adversity that you have, that you pursue when you wake up your passions with positivity, obviously, with purpose, and that all your days be full of lots of life and love and laughter, and always lots of love.
Pat yourself on the back for the little things.
Yeah, of course, celebrate those wins.
Yeah, even if you just put on one shoe and not the other.
It all counts.
It all counts, yeah. It's really about, it starts with, like we were saying, I feel like the whole takeaway really is it all starts small. Yeah. Every big idea starts small. So every big accomplishment, you had to take one step in that direction. So
yeah. And one step could be this simple brain challenge, you know, like take a screenshot of this, tag Nikki, myself, and post it and share one thing you're going to do for your better brain. So you can have your best, brightest future, because your brain, love your brain. It controls everything. This is the greatest treasure you have on the planet. Nobody here is paid for their muscle power. It's not like it was 100 years ago. It's your mind power. It's not your brute strength. It's your brain strength. And it's not how smart you are. It's how are you smart. It's not how smart you are. It's how are you smart. And everyone has genius inside of them. And so if we're willing to learn, we're willing to learn from mistakes, we're willing to keep on going forward and despite of what people think, and we don't complain and we don't make excuses, meaning that, yes, we all can make excuses for a lot of things. They can be 100% accurate and nothing changes, right? But we can't complain and be upset by the rewards we didn't get from the work we didn't do. So some people like just count on the law of attraction, but there's also this law of action also as well. And so it's knowledge by itself isn't power. It has the potential to be power. It only becomes power when we apply it. And the truth is, all the lives, podcasts, books, online programs, mentors, none of it works unless you roll up your sleeve and work, right? So do the work. It's the difference that makes a difference. You know, people watching you, and you know, and then you know, and celebrate your wins. Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. Everyone here is such an inspiration, whether they believe that they are an inspiration to themselves or not. I know you are inspiring somebody else, and especially if you just keep doing the things that make you happy, because happy people, I mean, it's addicting. Like if I see a happy person, I'm just like, what is that person doing? You know, you get excited and you become infectious. So definitely make sure that you just do the things that make you happy, the little things that make you happy, the little big things. It doesn't matter the size. Just do the things that make you happy, because this is also your only life to live and the only time that you get to inspire the other people on this planet. So definitely do the things that make you happy and make you smile, because you'll also feel like that day was a successful day if you do that.
Yeah. And honor your struggle, like that learning, like life is messy sometimes. And if you do, and get yourself to do those hard things, you know, like, because if you just do the easy things in life, you know, procrastinate, put things off, then life gets very hard. But if you get yourself to do the hard things, you know, then life gets a lot easier. And so, you know, train yourself, and it's okay that you do this, but let's get fit, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, in all the ways that, you know, you could show up in the world.
Yes. Oh, I love it. I feel like we could bounce ideas off each other, but please do send that information, because I'm very, very, very serious.
Yeah.
And everybody, thank you so much for everyone being here. Everyone was so positive and so beautiful, and you guys they were so inspired. I could tell there are so many people that showed up, Jim, that have already read your book. Another one says that, like, there were some people that are like, I'm in the middle of it. So, I mean, they just had so much more to get into, because I loved when I was able to close that book and I was like, oh, and at the end, you're like, congratulations. I was all, damn right.
Yeah, we want to make this the most read book. So when people go to the link, actually in my profile at limitlessbook.com, you submit your book receipt, we actually give you a 10-day speed reading memory course as a gift. because I want them to be the one. It's kind of, I'm going to get geeky here, but Lord of the Rings, there's a phrase that it's one ring to control them all. This is one book to help learn, read, remember, and understand them all. It'll all of those things. And so remember, readers are readers. Read something new every single day. Feed your mind like you feed your body, and good things will follow.
Yeah, totally. You'll definitely make that map of your life will definitely be positive. Well, Jim, thank you so much. I really do hope we do this again because I'm so addicted to just the words that come out of our mouths together. I feel like they're so powerful and I absolutely love it. So I appreciate you so much for being my partner in this live. It's been truly a blessing. Like I said, I've been following you forever. So everybody, please do the challenge that we said. Please take a screenshot or snapshot of this and tag us both and tell us your favorite book. Tell us, what you're going to do to upgrade your life today, and we will definitely repost. And Jim's going to be giving away a book, his Limitless book, to one lucky winner. So get on that. And everybody, please tune in to Jim Kwik's podcast. I mean, you can literally, they're all up there. So you can go back to episode 1 and just binge it all if you want to. It's really easy to do. They're only 20 minutes or less. And it's so impactful what he has to say. So definitely follow his podcast. Follow him on Instagram if you're not already. Facebook. And I mean, Jim, thank you just so much. I'm eternally grateful for you and your time.
Yeah, Nikki, thank you so much. And thank you, everybody, for joining us. And we'll do it again soon.
All right, love. Thank you.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.